All right, welcome to lesson 11. This is writing and comparing numbers through the hundred thousands. And to begin, I just want to make sure I review the unit family for you. That's the basic three-digit numbers. They call it the unit family because it's your basic 3 units that are going to be repeated over and over and over and over, no matter how big your number gets. So your basic 3-digit number up here, go ahead and read it out loud as I read it. It is 521. Okay? This is the ones column. This is the tens column, and this is the hundreds column. Okay? Now, if that's reviewed to you, that's great. And if it's not, make sure that is memorized. Okay? Hundreds, tens, ones. There's 5 hundreds. There's 2 tens, making 20, and there's 1 1. 521. Okay? That 3-unit pattern is going to repeat over and over and over as you go into thousands, millions, billions, trillions, and on and on. Today we're just sticking with the hundred thousands, numbers through the hundred thousands. So when you start entering into the thousands, a comma is going to separate the unit family from the thousands family. Okay? Let's do a 3-digit number. Pick something with different numbers. 987. Okay? And sometimes students get confused on how to read the number out loud. Now, if you could read 3 digits, then you could read a number as infinite long, just huge numbers, all right? So the way to do that is, you remember that this was just, if you just cover this up, you have 521, correct? Well, if you cover this up, what do you have? 987, okay? You always read the numbers in groups of 3. Or, if there's only 2 numbers, you read just the 2 numbers here. 87. You read them in groups where they're separated by commas. Okay? Let me put the 9 back up. And now I want you to read this number. 987. And then we separate it here from the thousands family, so that's where we say thousand. So 987,521. Okay? Take out the 8. Let's put a 0. Okay? Now, do you just say 900,000, 7,000? Or 900,000, 521? No, you always read in that family, in that group. So pretend this is not here, where that comma separates, and can you read that number? 907. Then when you see the comma, you say 1,000. So this is 907,521. Okay? And the 9's worth 100,000, so it's worth 900,000. The 10,000s, there's nothing there, so it's worth nothing. And the 7 is in the thousands, so it's worth 7,000. Notice how it's repeated this ones, tens, hundreds. This is 1, tens, hundreds. This is 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. I know we're not going on, but it does the same thing through millions. 1 millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. 1 billions, 10 billions, 100 billions. It just goes on and on and on like this. Ones, tens, hundreds. Over and over and over again. All right? The second thing I want to mention is, what if you were talking about money and you have a decimal here? Okay? Now, it's important when you're reading regular numbers that you don't say the word and, right? Like on the previous ones, we had 987,521. I didn't say and 521. You never say and when you're reading a number unless you see a decimal point. Okay? So there is a decimal point. I'm talking about an amount of money, perhaps. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's a fraction of something. So this is $907.52. Okay? If we want to make this number go into maybe the thousands or the 10,000s, that's separated a little too much. Okay. Remember that commas separate the families, so you read that family alone together. So on this side I have 11, so it's 11,000. 907 and 52 cents. Okay? And when speaking of money, you also don't put both a dollar sign and a cents sign. Okay, you only place one of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the questions that are on your homework, see what kind of things they're asking you to remember. Number 3, it says use digits. Okay, use numbers to write these numbers. Okay, if you read it, it says 74,856. Right? The comma there tells you that's where you write your comma when you write a number. So we could even put a comma there. And then we could solve what goes on this side and what goes on this side. Well, on this side, the first part of the number, it says 74,000. We know we have a comma here, and we know the number is 74. 74,000. And then what? What comes after the comma? After the comma, it says 856. So you just have to write 856. Okay? That's number 6 on your homework, or number 3 on your homework. Let me try one. Let's try number 8, because it tries to trick you a little bit, but it's the same thing. 12,201. Okay? First of all, there's a comma in there. 12,000, comma. So you need to write 12,000, comma. 12, comma. And then it says 201. Remember, there's no and. You might be used to hearing the words 201. That's not correct. So 201 would be there's 2 hundreds. There wasn't any tens, but there is a 1. So 201. That's number 8. And then I didn't do one of the top 2. Let's go ahead and try that. This time it's reversed. It gives you a number. 54890. Okay, number 1 gives you a number like that, and it says, use words to name each number. Hint, add comma after thousands. Notice they have not placed a comma for you. Okay, commas happen after every 3 numbers, starting from the right going left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Comma should be here. So when we write this number in words, we want to separate the families. Separate this number from this number. So 54, and then you hit a comma, that'll be thousands. So 54, comma, sorry, we need to write every single word. 54,000, comma, 890. Notice that the only comma I have is placed right where this comma is. 54,000, comma, 890. There's no and in there because there was no decimal places. Okay? It's not on your homework, but the lesson does say that you need to compare numbers. Often in the math books, they're going to try to compare numbers that are similar to try to trick you, perhaps even put higher numbers in to fool your eyes into thinking another number is bigger. So what if they wanted you to compare 54,890 to 54,099? Now you look at this one, and sometimes you go, oh, I see 2 nines. Nines are big. It's a bigger number. Okay? Those of you who caught it first, notice that there's an 8 here and a 0 here. This number is going to be bigger. Best way, I think, to make sure you're working it out to make sure you're getting a problem right, not rushing through, when you're comparing, is to stack the numbers. Just stack one on top of another. A lot of times they'll put them in a list. They'll say to order it from least to greatest or greatest to least. And students don't want to take the time to stack the numbers because maybe you're too lazy. So just put the numbers one on top of another. Okay, and start canceling numbers out, starting from the beginning, because the beginning numbers are the biggest. Well, beginning, I mean the highest end of it. They're the biggest numbers, and whenever you have a mismatch there, that number automatically is going to win. So we have 5 against 5, tie. We have 4 against 4, another tie. And now we have 8 versus 0. 8 is bigger, that automatically makes this number bigger. So if you were running a comparison, you would put the greater sign there between the two. Okay? So we'll be doing a lot more of that through the year. If you have any more questions on place value or reading or writing your numbers, then go ahead and let me know. Thank you.